Hi there, my name is Malay Vasaura and welcome to my channel. In today's video, let's take a look at working with the list actions in Power Automate Desktop. Let's first create a list. Create list, drag and drop. Let me call it as the countries list. Click on save. Add an item to the list, drag and drop. Add an item. Let me go ahead and add some countries. And into the list, so let's go into be the countries. Okay, so we have created the list and added some of the items. Let's hit run. You can see we now have a countries flow variable. Double click on that and you see we have Australia, India, Argentina, Brazil and Germany with the 0 index as a starting item. Okay, now let's see what are the other actions available and let's start using them. Let's understand them. List, sort the list. Let's take this action, sort list. It will ask to pick up the list, of course, and we have the countries list. Sort by the list items properties. If you want, we can go ahead and define any property that we have. If you want to sort it in the ascending or descending, let's keep it on the ascending. Second property to sort by, if we have more properties there, we can actually specify the sorting orders. For now, let us just keep this as it is and it will sort the countries into the ascending order. Click on save. Let's revisit this. It's not in the ascending order. Hit run. And now let's go ahead and take a look at this. So now we will have this in ascending order: Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Germany and India. There we go, right? Now let's see what do we get with this shuffle list. This list to shuffle. Now it creates a random permutation of the list. What that means is it will shuffle, it will just randomly places the countries and it will just come up with the countries list. Let's hit run. So now you see we have India, Australia, Brazil, Argentina. If you run it one more time, the sequence may be different. This time it's Australia, India, Germany, Brazil. So you see it really randoms out, it really shuffles the list. Merge lists. So let me go ahead and create one more list and then we'll add few more countries into the new list and then we will use merge the lists. Let me go ahead and create new lists. I'll call it as the countries 1 and let me add a couple of countries into this new list. Alright, let's now use merge lists. Okay, so the first list, it's going to be countries. The second list, it's going to be countries 1. And we can actually produce this merge list into a different output. So let's say this is merge countries. All right, list and click on save. Hit run. Okay, so we have two countries list. We can see Brazil, Germany, Australia, India, Argentina. The other, which is countries 1, Japan, Austria, and then we have a merge countries where we will also have Japan and Austria and have also formed the merge countries list. Okay, let's go with the reverse list. If you drag the reverse list, it would just reverse the order of the items in the list. Let's select merge countries list. So here the first is Brazil and the last two is Japan and Austria. So let's go ahead and hit run. Now the first is Austria and the last is Brazil. So you see the order is now reversed. Then we also have remove duplicate items from the list. So in case if we have any duplicate items, it will be removed from the list. So far in our list we do not have the duplicate item, but you can use this action for the purpose. Compare the two lists and create a new list with the items that are common in both. Let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and add one more item into the list of countries 1, which would be more of a common. So I'm just gonna go and not create list, we'll just add the item to the list, and adding the item as India, which we already have it in the country list. Let's add that to countries 1. Click on save, and let's use find common list items. Let's go and use countries, and the other list is countries 1, and variable produced is intersection list. I'm okay with that. Click on save, hit run, and let's wait for the flow to complete its execution. And there we have it. If we now click on intersection list, we have got only one item because India is the only common list item between countries and countries 1. Alright, the next is subtract lists. What does this mean is it would go ahead and compare the two lists and create a new list with the items that are in the first list but not in the second. Okay, so let's go and select countries. Let's go and select countries 1. Now India is the common, the list item between the countries and countries 1. So what that means is we would have the list from the countries, but we would not have India because India is part of the countries and countries 1. And those countries will be a part of the list difference. Click on save, hit run. Let's wait for the flow to complete its execution and we'll see the result. And there we have it. Let's click on the list difference. So we have a list, but we don't have, as I said, India, because that is something which is common between two lists. Okay, now I have created a new data table called employees. Let's take a look at the employees data table. I have two columns called employee ID and name, and then we have the employee IDs and the name of the employees. So we have a data table. So now let's go ahead and use one other action in the list, which is called retrieve a data table column into the list. So if you drag this now, it will ask to select the data table. Let's go ahead and select the data table which we have in the employees column name or index. So the way I want to retrieve is only the employee ID. So I know the column name, column as a list. Instead of this, I'll just rename it as the employee ID list. Click on save, hit run, let the flow complete its execution. And now we have employee ID list, and you can see we were successfully able to retrieve the column values into the list type of variable. And then finally, you also have a clear list. What that means is it will remove all the items from the list. Let's go ahead and just remove the countries 1. Click on save. If you see countries 1, we do have Japan, Australia and India. Let's hit run. Let's wait for the flow to complete its execution, and we will see now countries 1 do not have any item because simply used clear list. I hope this simple example, this video helped you to understand how do you create the list and then work with different actions of the lists. I thank you so much for watching the video.